is not about competition. It's about empowerment. 100%. What was I about to say? What was I even saying? People say, okay, Kayla, like, you can't tell people who are dealing drugs and, like, living really, like, inner city. I don't like calling it ghetto. I hate the word ghetto. But, like, inner city areas, you can't tell them, okay, educate yourself and you'll be a better, like, you'll get out of this. But it's just, like, sometimes college isn't for everyone. So we can't really push the college as the only option. People think it is hard to educate yourself because they don't have the resources, but you don't have to go to school to educate yourself, to get educated. You don't have to go to school. Yeah, it's organized education. It is definitely easier because it's like, okay, you should go to school, but like, I don't want to say don't go to school, but school's not for everyone. Like, I realize that. But I know structured education and just doing it yourself is two different things. But you can't sit here and say, oh, I didn't go to school, so I just don't know. That's not an excuse anymore. There's no reason why slaves are reading and writing and you can't. Like, there's no reason. Like, there's no reason. Like, that's why I tell myself all the time, there's no reason why some of these slaves are smart. Like, they were really finding a way. You know, slavery was not a choice. Like, they were finding a way. Like, so there's no reason you should be walking around uneducated. That's what I tell myself. Okay, there's no reason for you to walk around dumb. There's no reason for you to be walking around ignorant. Why are you laughing? This is what I tell myself. I don't tell other people this. There's no reason why you should be walking around ignorant, not understanding what's going on in today's society. You have a free public library. You have YouTube. You have Netflix. You have music. There's no reason why you should be walking around ignorant, but yet so-and-so in the 1600s, 1700s was able to read and write and is writing better books. Now you reading their books, you can't even understand it. There's no reason why it should be like that. Like, oh my God, like when I would read literature, because you know I went to HBCU, had to read black literature, they were slaves. And I'm sitting here struggling to understand because their vocabulary is so good. I should not be struggling like that. Like, you get what I'm saying? It pushes me harder to study more. Because like I have the resources, I have the dictionaries, I have this and that. I don't even have to read to educate. I can watch YouTube. Like I'm saying, I can watch YouTube and learn anything. But you can learn anything on YouTube. There's no excuse. They were putting pieces together. Papers were all cut, half burnt. And they were reading it. Like, you're bugging. There's no reason why you should walk around ignorant. There's no reason why you should read a slave's handwriting or read their documentation and be like, wow, I don't really understand what they're saying. But yet you have all this, and they came from literally nothing, barely eating. But yet, like, no, that's because they were really pushing. And that's what I tell myself, like, so that's why I'm always like trying to stay on it, like, because I can't. There's no reason why I should be walking around dumb. Like we mentioned earlier, there aren't many businesses in Trenton besides the dollar store, the liquor store. There's churches and then small businesses. But there's a lot of land. Like people say, like it is like 7-8 miles, whatever. But if you ride down a block in Trenton, most of the houses are vacant. Nothing's owned when it comes to like houses, and like nothing's owned. I can only think of like one person who owns land, like owns property, like not paying like mortgage, but it's like, oh, I'm only paying property tax. I own this land. Like I can only think of one person, which is my grandmother, and she's 101. Like that's the crazy part. Like you got to be that old to like own land, like living there for that long, which I understand. Like it's not easy to own land, but like that's the point. Like, is it a goal to own land? Is it a goal to like, is that a goal for black people in Trenton? Take that drug money, whatever income you have, invest it into like property, invest in owning something, invest it into flipping houses. Don't go out and buy the gold chains and then spend That when I look at the prices for designer clothes, it blows my mind. Take the $1,000, $2,000 that you were going to buy on that, whatever, the purse, the shoes, or whatever. Buy some land, buy those vacant houses, because there's plenty of them. Flip the house. I mean, I'm making it sound easy, but it is something to at least think about. Like, at least start maybe educating yourself about it. Maybe not, okay, maybe you don't want to go into it, but at least, okay, so this is how you do it if I ever do want to go down the road and own land and own property. There's plenty of places in Trenton to own, because I feel like everything's so vacant. Not saying, okay, everybody go out and buy land, but like just have that idea in your head. Maybe I can do that. We're trying to give different ideas. Like you don't, like I'm saying, different avenues. You don't have to be a rapper. You don't have to go into sports. Maybe college isn't for you. Maybe you don't have the money to go to college. And if you don't, here's some other options. I feel like everybody's competing, but with the wrong things. Everybody's competing to look better. Everybody's competing to have the best hair, the best nails, the best designer, best sneakers. Look into what you're digesting. Look into what you're wearing. Yeah, what you're spending your money, who you're giving your money to. Y'all are giving money to these artists, these fashion designers that do not care about you. Old white men that are trying to take your money. Be conscious of what you're giving. I have to press something. What you're giving your energy to. Like you're giving so much energy and focus to these old white men behind the scenes, and y'all, we don't realize it. Music, fashion, movies. Movies are big too. You got old white men funding those, giving the wrong stories. Yeah, giving the wrong Green Book. Story wasn't even accurate, but somehow like you get like, be cautious of what you give your energy to. Then take that and run with it. Do whatever y'all want to do with it, but be cautious of what you're giving your energy and time and money to. Just think about it before you do it. That's all. Yeah.